My name is Bruce. Together with my wife Karen, we are Halgrim's caretaker, butler, laundry maid, groundskeeper, and entertainers, among other things. I'm sure that everyone here visiting us today, or visiting me today, knows who Halgrim is. He's a 2-year-old German Shepherd. And by the way, no, I'm not driving on the wrong side of the road. The camera does that automatically. I could change it, but I figure I'd irritate a few people by making them think that in Germany we drive on the left side of the road. Anyway, Halgrim, as probably most of you know, had a very close brush with death. He damaged one of his so-called canine teeth, the big teeth in the corner of his lower jaw, and he has a penchant for liking to chew on stones and sometimes dig in the ground, as many of his kind do. And as a consequence, he managed to get Clostridium tetani in his mouth and into his jaw and into his bloodstream. And as probably some of you know, Clostridium tetani or tetani causes a disease called tetanus, or commonly called Lockjaw. These bacteria create a toxin that attaches itself to the muscle receptors, causes the muscles to constantly fire and become stiff. And Halgrim was on the border of becoming stiff by the time his disease was properly diagnosed. Tetanus in dogs is very rare, and as a consequence, dogs are not vaccinated against tetanus. And there's another reason that they're not vaccinated. The vaccination is very dangerous and can actually give them the disease. So they tell us not to even consider vaccinating him. The likelihood of him ever getting it again is small. I'm going to turn the camera around. I think you've seen enough. I think you've seen enough of me. So there we are. We're in a little town called Angen Road here. And we're on the highway, a federal highway, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. Highway 62. There's a little sign to the right there. We're in the big, or for us, big Mercedes C300T estate car. And Halgrim was at the veterinary clinic, a local veterinary clinic, 6 times in less than 10 days for something that was making him sick. And since he's vaccinated against all diseases like distemper and all the other dog diseases, those could be ruled out. But they kept thinking he had just an infection in his jaw, because his jaw had become swollen, and the swollen jaw was really bad, and they gave him, thank goodness they gave him antibiotics for the swollen jaw. But what they didn't realize was that the cause of the swelling was more than just a normal infection bacteria. Finally, Karen insisted on showing one of the veterinarians a picture she took of Halgrim at home. I'll put it up here. And the veterinarian looked at the picture and Karen said the blood went out of her face basically, and she said, "Oh my God, that's tetanus." And so she said, "Take him to Gießen, to the university clinic immediately. Get him into intensive care there." Well, he was in intensive care in Gießen for 6 days, and Sunday to Sunday, no, I'm sorry, 8 days. And they gave him special antibiotics that are good against organisms like Clostridium, tetani, and they also gave him muscle relaxants, which help keep the muscles from getting so stiff, and also Valium, which is very important to calm him down, because through the stiffness he becomes very excited, and that makes his condition much worse. In any case, we're now in Alsfeld. In any case, we picked him up from, they extracted 2 of his teeth, in fact, the teeth were dead already because he had damaged them chewing on stones, I guess. And they got him to the point where he could, they arrested the stiffness, so to speak, a stiffening of his body, and where he could come home, because as you can imagine, one day in the intensive care is very, very expensive, and he was there 8 days. So they know that you can't continue on like that. So he had a feeding tube in the side of his abdomen going into his stomach, and so they gave us food to give him, liquid food, and we bought then enough for the next 15 days. We're hoping that after 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks he will be able to eat solid food again, or any food. He can't even drink water, so we have to give him water through his tube in his abdomen. He's a sick puppy. He's actually now much improved. He can open his mouth completely. The disease, as you know, is called Lockjaw in English, because it causes the jaws to become locked together, and because the muscles are constantly closing the jaw. And he had that too, but now he can open his mouth, and he tried to bite my finger this morning. So I know he was feeling better. He doesn't really bite, but he wants to let me know that he's had enough of my fooling around and doing what he doesn't like me to do. In any case, it means that 4 times a day, every 6 hours, we have to go down to his room, and his room is a completely darkened. It's absolutely there's no light in it at all. Completely darkened room in our ground floor of our home that we have covered up the windows and taken all the furniture out so he doesn't hurt himself. And so we go down there 4 times a day for about 90 minutes each time, and and dress the opening into his abdomen, and then give him 200 milliliters of liquid food and 680 milliliters of water, and 5 different medicines on a different schedule. Each other time there are just 2 of the medicines. One of them is Valium and one is an antibiotic, and the other time all 5, he gets all 5. And there are muscle relaxants, and there's another antibiotic, and then there's, what am I forgetting? Something to help him urinate, because the muscles on his bladder also were affected and he couldn't urinate. That problem is solved now, I can tell you. The washing machine is running around the clock, basically washing, cleaning rags that are on the floor. Thankfully, the room has a tile floor, so it's not a problem. And then we have to change his the dressing on his feeding tube. So, and this is around the clock, of course. So we have one of these at 3 o'clock in the morning, one of these sessions. It takes Karen and me both, takes both of us to do it, really. So I'll go on with this a little after I do the shopping I need to do. I need to take some bottles back and get some drinks, and I'll be back with you then. I have to apologize for not wearing a mask before. I hope I didn't cause any of you to get ill. As far as I know, however, I don't have any viruses aside from the normal sleep virus. There's just a bicycle race here and the people are coming back. So I got a case of water and I got a case of Coca-Cola. My Coca-Cola, my kids used to call it Papa drink or Papa juice. Interestingly enough, they didn't care a thing about it. I thought kids would be crazy about cola, but mine weren't. I think they drink it now maybe if there's nothing else. A Jaguar in front of us there. Jaguar, nice car. Oh yeah, you can't see it. Oh, I get to turn you around. I'll do that in a minute here when I get to a street where I can pull over. I got Karen a couple of Mon Cherie cherries in chocolate with cherry liqueur. A couple of packages for her so that she wouldn't cook. I'm hoping it'll make her a little happier. It's really pretty. We're pretty optimistic about Halgrim, whether there's good reason for that or not. Nobody can give us any guarantees, of course. But life has taken a very different turn, for sure. I'll be right back with you. Here we go. There we are. I'm so tired. I have to try to be aware of every move I make, so I don't do something stupid like leaving my. Oh, I hope I didn't leave my wallet somewhere. No, there it is. I hope I didn't leave my credit card somewhere. Better check on that too. It's kind of interesting because with my arthritis, my rheumatoid arthritis, and asthma and allergies, all the other stuff I managed to haul around with me. Anyway, I tend to think of myself as being almost an invalid, and here I am lifting up an 88-pound, well, he doesn't weigh that much now because he's probably lost at least, I think he's lost at least 15 pounds. But still a big dog, lifting him up back onto his feet because he gets so much Valium that all he wants to do is, when he gets it, for the first hour or so, all he wants to do is lay down and stare at the wall, basically. So I'm quite surprised anyway, and my terrible backache that I have from sitting all the time is far better, lifting up a heavy dog and running up and down 4 flights of stairs 20 times a day and carrying stuff around, and so it proves that activity is better for your well-being, probably for your health too. It's not a secret, of course. So anyway, the main features of Halgrim's illness were his ruffled brow. He had a furrowed the top of his head, the scalp basically of the dog was furrowed. It was in deep rows, kind of. And his ears are still not back to normal. The scalp is pretty much normal now. It's only when he gets I don't know, stressed or whatever it is, but anyway, does his scalp still get folds in it, but his ears have a knick in the middle, and they say that'll probably last until the end. I mean, until the end, until all the rest of the problems have gone away. The other thing are his eyes. He can't control his eye muscles, which must be extremely awful and difficult for the poor fellow. I think his left eye looks in a considerably different direction than his right eye, and he can't control that. And as a consequence, he looks very... I'd even thought about putting a patch on one of his eyes, but when I hold my hand over it, he doesn't seem to like that either. So I guess he'll just have to live with it until it's better. What happens is the muscle receptors get replenished on a regular basis, thankfully, And so the ones that are occupied with this toxin will get replaced by healthy ones or uninfected ones. And when that happens, then his normal muscle activity will be regained. We'll probably have to go to physical therapy with him for a while, because he'll have to learn to properly control his muscles again. He certainly can't control his bladder yet. Of course, Karen can't really take him outside during the day. We bought sunglasses for him that are really pretty dark, and with those he could go out, but so far he hasn't really been excited about wearing them. He left them on the first day without any problem. I thought, oh, this is good, but the second day he kept trying to get them off, so I don't want to make his life any more miserable than it is. He's a very, very sweet dog. He always has been, really. Wild as heck and strong as an ox, but very sweet. And he when he has his cone on, which he has all the time basically now, he comes up to me, and when I'm sitting on a chair, he comes to me and presses his cone head right up against my chest. I'm gonna just let this car do what it's good at. That's fun. It does 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds, which is pretty good. I have it running on what's called comfort rather than sport, so it shifts a little earlier. Although it did get to 100 kilometers per hour in 4th gear. It's a 9-speed automatic transmission. Anyhow, that's kind of where we are. 4 times a day, including once in the nighttime. 90 minutes. Karen she has a 100 milliliter syringe to feed him with, and he has to get a total of over a liter of water. So that's 20 times. $20 syringefuls, which means changing the syringe 20 times. I mean, taking it out and putting it back in. I just told a lie. I don't know what I'm thinking of. That was the way it was, but we have a 100 milliliter syringe. Oh, we had a 50 milliliter, but we now have 100, so it's just 10 times that she has to change it. I'm going to get a black mark now from our policeman. We have an onboard policeman here from our insurance company. And he watches out if I accelerate too fast, or if I brake too hard, or I go too fast, break the speed limit, or something else. Whip the steering wheel from one side to the other. I really don't care a bit whether he notices or not. We get a bonus off of our insurance if we have a good rating with him. It's a little box sitting on the windshield. I mean, glued to the windshield up here. I could take it down and throw it out, or send it back anytime I wanted. But we're kind of curious. We kind of make fun with one another. At one another for getting points. Actually, we're among the program that we get that goes with this thing that monitors tells us that we are among the 10% of the safest drivers in Germany, so that's fine. We're getting the maximum amount of, we get 25% off of our insurance because of that, which is a substantial amount. And like I say, I don't really care, so I sometimes just ignore the bugger. Anyway, you get the point. So far, it's going to be a week soon that we've had Halgrim at home, and so far we've. I see, I didn't clean the windshield again. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So far, we seem to be holding up relatively well. We have pretty much managed not to beat each other's brains in. In any case, that's the story of Halgrim. We love him dearly. He's a member of our family, and we'll do anything we can to save him as much as that's possible. We'll do what we can in any case and hope for the best. For my friend Ray, every time I pass here, I have to let him know the bakery is on the left side here. I was there this morning and got some brötchen, some bread rolls, and something that I like very much, which I can't even describe at the moment. We're back in Lockjaw where we live. There's the church. And there's our beautiful home, which we still love. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for all your good wishes to Halgrim. He appreciates it very much. He's asked me to express his gratitude for all the care that you've sent. And we're hoping, of course, just like everyone else is, that he will recover from this. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for commenting and for subscribing. And until next time.